What if the stranger you welcomed in your home was the same person sent by fate to destroy your peace? This was the silent question waiting for Amina, a dedicated widow living on the quiet edge of Ogbomosho, Oyo State, Nigeria. Amina was known across the area as a woman with a clean heart and tired hands. Since the death of her husband years ago, she survived alone by selling bean cakes and pap in the mornings and roasted corn in the evenings. Her life was simple, honest, and guided by prayer. People trusted her because she never cheated anyone, and she trusted people because she believed kindness was a form of worship. Amina lived alone in her late husband's small cement house. Though loneliness followed her like a shadow, she filled the emptiness with work and faith. She believed that helping others would one day bring her peace. Travelers often passed through Ogbomosho, and Amina never turned any away hungry. She did not know that on one ordinary afternoon, kindness would invite danger, and her quiet home would become a place of fear. That was the day a handsome stranger crossed her path with bad intentions hidden behind a gentle voice. The sun was high when Amina finished selling her bean cakes. As she walked home along a dusty road near an old mango tree, she noticed a man sitting weakly by the roadside. He was tall, handsome, and well-built, though his clothes were torn and dusty. His face showed hunger and exhaustion, yet his eyes were calm and confident. When he saw Amina, he slowly stood and greeted her politely. "Please, Mama," he said softly, "help me. I have not eaten since yesterday." He introduced himself as Kunle, saying he was traveling to Ibadan before he was attacked and robbed by unknown men. His voice sounded sincere. Amina felt pity rise in her chest. She remembered her husband's words from long ago. A good heart never ignores a cry for help. Though something deep inside warned her to be careful, Amina ignored it. She offered Kunle food and invited him to rest at her house until he regained strength. That decision changed everything. At Amina's house, Kunle ate quietly and thanked her many times. He praised her kindness and spoke respectfully. He did not ask too many questions, and he did not talk much about his past. Amina allowed him to sleep in the outer room for the night. She told herself she was only doing what was right. But that night, sleep avoided her. From her room, she heard Kunle walking around late into the night. At one point, she noticed strange marks on his wrists when he washed his hands under the tap. They looked like old chain scars. When she asked him about them the next morning, Kunle smiled calmly and said he once worked at a factory. His answer felt rehearsed, but Amina brushed the thought aside. Days passed and Kunle remained in the house. He helped with chores, fetched water, and repaired small things. Neighbors noticed him. Some admired his looks, others felt uneasy. Amina believed peace had returned to her life. She did not know that danger was only waiting for the right moment to show its true face. One evening, as Amina returned from the market, she saw Kunle arguing with a man near the roadside. The moment he noticed her, Kunle stopped talking and smiled as if nothing had happened. When Amina asked him about it, he said it was a misunderstanding. His eyes, however, were cold and alert. That night, Amina prayed longer than usual. Her spirit felt heavy. She tried to convince herself that fear without proof was foolish. Still, she could not ignore the tension growing in her home. Kunle rarely slept deeply. He listened to every sound outside. He asked strange questions about the area and the security patrols. Amina began to regret her decision, but it was too late to turn back easily. She feared sending him away might cause trouble. She chose silence, not knowing silence would soon become her prison. The truth came on a night filled with terror. Long after midnight, loud sirens broke the silence of Ogbomosho. Dogs barked wildly. Kunle jumped up from his sleep like a hunted animal. His face turned pale. Sweat rolled down his forehead. Before Amina could ask what was wrong, Kunle grabbed her arm tightly. "Do not open the door," he whispered fiercely. "If you open it, you are dead." Heavy knocks followed. "Police, open the door," voices shouted outside. Kunle pulled out a knife and pressed it close to Amina's body. His voice dropped cold and dangerous. "I escaped from prison weeks ago. They are looking for me. You will protect me or you will pay." Amina's heart shattered. Fear froze her blood. The stranger she helped was a criminal on the run. Outside was the law, inside was death staring at her face. With trembling lips, Amina lied to the police, telling them she was alone. After searching nearby houses, the officers left. Kunle locked the door and turned towards her with anger. His kindness disappeared completely. "You belong to me now," he said. "You will hide me, feed me, and keep quiet." From that moment, Amina's life became a nightmare. Kunle controlled her movements. He threatened her daily. He slept with the knife beside him. Amina lived in constant fear, eating little, sleeping less. She blamed herself endlessly. Her kindness had turned into a cage. Each night she prayed silently for deliverance, knowing she could not fight Kunle with strength. She needed wisdom, patience, and courage. One morning, Amina asked Kunle for permission to go to the market. He warned her not to try anything foolish. At the market, Amina carefully approached Chief Adewale, the respected community leader. As she greeted him, she dropped her prayer beads deliberately. In Ogmomosho, that act was a silent cry for help. Chief Adewale noticed immediately. He understood the message. He followed Amina from a distance and observed Kunle later that evening. His suspicions were confirmed. He quietly contacted local security men and the police, explaining the situation. Back at home, Kunle became restless. He sensed danger. He shouted and threatened Amina again, promising death if she betrayed him. But for the first time since the nightmare began, hope burned inside her heart. Late that night, the sound of emergency drums echoed through the area. Kunle panicked. He grabbed his knife and tried to escape through the back door. Before he could succeed, the door burst open. Police officers and local security men rushed in. Kunle fought violently, refusing to surrender. The struggle was fierce, but he was eventually overpowered and handcuffed. His handsome face twisted with rage and regret as he was dragged outside. Amina collapsed to the floor, crying uncontrollably. The fear that had trapped her for days finally released its grip. Evil had entered her home through kindness, but wisdom and courage had defeated it. The next morning, villagers gathered as Chief Adewale addressed them. Kindness is good, he said firmly, but wisdom must guide it. Not everyone who asks for help has a clean heart. Amina stood before the people, her voice calm but firm. I helped without listening to warning signs. Let my story teach you. Help others but never ignore your instincts. The villagers listened in silence, learning from her pain. Amina returned home that evening, exhausted but free. Her house felt peaceful again. Though the scars remained in her heart, she had survived. Life slowly returned to normal. Amina continued her business, but she was no longer careless. Her kindness did not disappear. It matured. She learned that goodness must walk in hand with wisdom. And so, the story of bad intentions spread across Ogmomosho and beyond. It warned that evil often hides behind a friendly smile, and that not every cry is innocent. Because, sometimes, the stranger you save is the danger you invited inside.